All right, good afternoon, everybody. You are checking out a new thing that we're doing here on our Facebook and YouTube channels where we are spotlighting people in the community that are doing good things in the community. And today we have, I never got your name.
Basil Ali,
We have Basil Ali, and he's from um, reentry program called, what is the name of your
Incarcerated
organization?
Faces Services.
Okay, and we're going to be talking about his organization today, and I'm going to actually ask you. Well, let's just get it started. Give us a little bit, give us some information about your organization and what your organization does in the community.
Well, Incarcerated Faces, what we do is we reflect on the needs of those coming home from incarceration, as far as where to go get their identification, sign up for their little health benefits, whatever like food stamps they need. Then we try to address them with employment if they have job skill training if they need that. We try to find organizations that support that and other organizations that give them the training and the necessary skill set that they need to go on interviews and to get employment and then housing, just to live a normal life after incarceration.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, because I've seen some organizations that reentry programs and so forth. Like I know when I went through my situation, where anybody who watches what I do knows that I had a past incarceration. And the thing that I noticed when I got out was that the services that were offered seemed to be catering specifically to people with like drug addiction. Like my situation was just a situation where I was displaced from employment because of the nature of what happened. And I noticed a lot of these organizations, they, again, catered just to the, drug offenders and so forth. And I also had found that a lot of the programs were just job readiness. It wasn't really anything that connected you to actual second chance employers, or for people who don't know what that is, people employers who are felony friendly.
Mm.
So how does your organization differ from those?
Reentry as a whole is a big subject because everybody knows that you get government funding for this reentry. You can get the money for it. All you have to do is present the right package to the government. And being in the system, is the government don't really care if it benefits you or not because you're a part of the system. See, it's a bigger scheme. And what you say about like the drug addiction and all that there, that's a bigger picture for them. That means I'm going to have to send you to a rehab, which I'm going to send you to the facility that I want to send you to. I'm going to send you where I want to send you for treatment. So it's all a part of their reentry package. Now you could be like, oh, I'm not a drug addiction guy. I'm just looking for employment or skill set and this and that. And they'll probably put you to the back burner because you don't fit the criteria of what their reentry is. See, when you're researching these reentry programs, it's like you got to find out what school is best for you. It's like you going to college now.
Hmm.
And you'll find that most of them are shallow. There's nothing there. I've been through the same thing. Like the mayor office, RISE. I went through RISE program. First came home from incarceration. Just got out the federal system. They sitting there, they training me for an interview.
That was exactly my experience too with Rise. Is that they sit you, they do an interview, and they be like, all right, we'll be in contact with you.
Exactly.
Never heard back from. Not even. At least you got further than me.
Well, I ended up getting a job through RISE because some people that they hired, they around the flower show and a car show at the convention center,
Hmm.
they hire in bulk. So they hire a bunch of guys and they let you go in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then you back in the unemployment line.
Exactly. Well,
So it's not to cut you off.
go ahead.
When they give you a second chance, I'm not saying every individual is different. I don't accept chances. I accept opportunities.
Hmm.
I need an opportunity. People coming home from jail don't need a chance because chance means risk is involved, and the risk is involved in a lot of things. But from that background, if I'm gonna take a chance, the chance is different for me if I got a criminal background. If I don't think my chance is working, I'm gonna resort back to what I used to do.
Exactly.
But an opportunity, it opens your eyes. It lets you know this. You take this step to get to this step. You take this step to get to that step. This is using an opportunity. With a chance, you might slip. What if I slip on that chance? What, you gonna send me back because I messed up? We're not perfect people.
Well, nobody is. And,
Right.
Also, with dealing with those programs, I found that like you need to actually do a lot of research yourself looking for a job. Like every job I've gotten, I've never gotten it through any of these reentry programs or anything. It's been me going out, actually going out to different places and actually talking to people and actually finding people who were in similar situations than mine that actually got these jobs and they were actually not, I don't want to say nice enough, but they were actually putting that information out to the community. So me myself, what I like to do, and I'm pretty sure you do this, when I find an employer that I know of, like a lot of staffing agencies are second chance, if you want to call it that. Like my job, I'm not gonna say where I work, but my job is second chance, and it's like it took me so long to actually find these places. So what I like to do is I like to tell people like on my Facebook, every time I hear about a job, I post it.
Okay.
I posted it every time. I actually worked with the organization down in the Southwest Community Development Corporation. I was working with their employment person to actually, every time I heard about a job, here's a job. And they actually sent people out on them jobs, and they got those jobs. And the thing that I found, and I'm sure you would agree, and you can give me your opinion, uh, employers should realize some of your best workers are going to be formerly incarcerated persons. Those are going to be your best workers.
What makes you say that?
Well, what makes me say that is this is based on experience from working with others. They're work hard because of the reason why we're here. You have such a hard time getting a job that when you finally get a job, you appreciate it and you work hard to keep that job. Um, I was working with a staffing agency that the majority of their employees are formerly incarcerated, and they're the hardest workers.
Well, I'm gonna address that from both of us have experience in incarceration. So I've been in the state prisons and the federal prisons. It's different in the state and the feds is you're going to work in a federal prison. You're going to have some type of job. When you finish your orientation, they're going to already have a job for you based on your skill set. If you don't have a GED, they're going to ask you, do you want to sign up? See, they don't enforce this type of stuff. Only thing they're going to force you to do is work. You'll go to the hole if you don't work in the feds.
Okay.
You'll go
That
to
see that I didn't
you'll
know.
go to the hole. See, in the state you can get away because you can play around. Oh yeah, I ain't working, or they give you idle pay,
Okay.
and they get comfortable with that. One of the things I heard a guy say he has a movement going on. His name is Daryl Schuler. I'm quite sure y'all probably heard of him. Daryl Schuler in the city of Philadelphia. He made a statement to the guys, and it was so true. He said, "All right, y'all don't want to stop all this nonsense, this violence, and all that. Okay, when you get locked up, don't call home to your mom. Don't call to your girlfriend, asking them to send you that money." And it hit so hard because that's what you hear guys do on the phone, calling their mom, calling their girl, calling, I need somebody to send me some money. Oh, I need this for that, commissary. Oh, I need this for the cable bill. You got a cable bill? You ain't put that in your plan when you was, the pros and cons.
Hmm.
So the work ethic, you're going to get that because you have to work to survive in jail. You have to have a job. And you get different pay grades. They pay you different pay grades. So like a person coming home from incarceration, you might look at it as he's one of your best, hardest workers. He's already accustomed to working. People
Hmm.
don't understand that or not, but you're in a controlled environment. Some of the things you're going to do whether you want to do or not because you're in a controlled environment. You're
Yeah.
going to go to your cell. You don't have to go to sleep, but you're going to go in that cell when they tell you to go in that cell.
Well, yeah, something I did notice, especially about county, because I just was in county. I
Okay.
never went state or fed, but like you said, in county, it's just a lot of people just sitting there wasting away. You know, I've seen people. All they do is they just do the cards all day, and they're not doing anything. Like they're not trying to look at research the cases. They're not trying. They're bringing the stuff that got them locked up in there, and they're just continuing that time and time again. So when they get bail or discharged or whatever happens, or their case gets resolved, they like you said they go back to the same thing because they didn't get any skills. They didn't work in there.
And right, you were on
State
State
road.
Road,
Yeah.
and just to we just talking about the state and the feds. That's what I've been. I've been on State Road too, but the difference is it's the same thing. When you come out of quarantine on State Road, when you get to the block, the longest line you're going to see is the phone line. And most of the guys that's in the phone line are calling home so their family could put money on the phone so they can continue to call home. Because if your family don't put the money on your phone or on your books for you to call home, you have no source of communication. So it was always back, like I said, I mentioned the guy, Darryl Schuler. He made that statement. And I was thinking in my mind, like, where did he get this from? But it's so true. You see these guys, man, 19, 20, 25. When the courts slam that gavel, mom is all they got. That's the reality. Your girlfriend gonna stick around for a minute, but mom is the family is all you have. If you got a good sister or your mom. But what's funny to me is that you mentioned how these organizations, what makes one separate themselves this from that. You have to choose yourself. You have to talk to people. If a person can't look you in the face and directly and say, well, I might not be able to get you a job today, or we have something going on tomorrow if you come down, sincerity is what you have to have. Don't have a bunch of guys come to you and then you have nothing to do for them, so you put them over there. Oh, yeah, go over there and wait. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. Sincerity. Let them know because everyone, your time is precious. His time is precious. My time is precious. My wife's time is precious. Everybody's time is precious. Your time is your time. From the day you were born to the day you end your life is your time. Same applies to him. The same applies to me. You can't increase my time. You can decrease it if a person decides to take a life of an individual. But if you let a person live their natural time, they're going to die when God expires their time. So we shouldn't waste people's time. It could be urgent. You could come home and you could have everything and just need that job. I had a job before I went to jail. I already know how to do an interview. Don't take me through your changes of your reentry. Apply what I need for my reentry.
Hmm.
And you have to be able to say that to people. What do you need? Based on my life, I don't use drugs. I don't do this, so I don't need your drug and alcohol treatment. I need to get in a place where I can take care of my children, pay my bills, and reintroduce myself to society. Even if you ask me to say, okay, we got a job for you right here, this and that, and that. 2 days out of a week or one day out of a week, we need you to go over here and help them with some volunteer work at this organization. And this should be acceptable to a person because there's another opportunity. You
And
see?
I wanted to ask you a question. There's actually some organizations also that I feel um, use people. They use formerly incarcerated people. I don't want to say a name, but there's an organization where they get, they're supposed to help the formerly incarcerated as well as the homeless, and they basically put them out selling newspapers
Well,
and
before
stuff
you go
like.
further, when you say you don't want to use a name, is it a personal experience that you've been through with them?
Yeah, exactly.
If
So,
it's a personal experience that you've been through with, that's your choice. You can say their name or you don't want to say their name, but your experience is what makes it real. See, if I've been through it,
hmm
I would say like this person or that individual or that organization, the experience I had with them
yeah.
would be this or that or this or that. See?
Well, yeah. The only reason why I don't use names is for
Mm-hmm.
liability.
Okay.
So, like I said, they'll put you out there to sell the papers, right? So you're out there every day, all day, selling newspapers, and you really don't make anything out of it. I mean, I understand that they got shelters and stuff like that, but at least this is from a long, long, long time ago. So I don't know if they changed or what, but I just seen a lot of people wasting the time out there selling papers for $1 instead of they actually helping them trying to find a real steady job.
Well, you can become a part of somebody else's hustle too. That's easy. Become part of somebody else's hustle if that's what their hustle is, and they see as an opportunity for them. You're wasting your time though. See, this is where you get a atmosphere when people want to categorize. That's you. They'll call you disgruntled now, even if you don't like it. I don't like it, or you disgruntled. They'll start labeling you. When reality is, this isn't working for me. We can approach this. Okay, listen, this is not working. I'm not making enough money that's suitable for me to feed my family and take care of myself. So I'm looking for something better. If you got an idea how I can increase my pay here, or I'm looking for something else. It's just another opportunity I have to look for. A lot of these people are not sincere. That's just America. America is a scheme.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that every day.
I'm just saying, America itself is a scheme. It's a whole plan of deception.
Okay. Last question I wanted to ask you. I'm sure you know there's a lot of nonsense going on out here in the streets with the guns and all that. And I wanted to ask you. I know it's really, really, really big, and it probably couldn't be answered right now. But what would you say would be a good starting point to actually try to start to fix this with all these guns and all this killing going on?
Well, first you got to reach out to the people that has the authority to fix it. See, the police don't have the authority to fix anything in the community. They don't have that authority. Their presence doesn't pose that type of authority to make a guy say or a girl say, "I'm not going to carry my gun," or "I'm not going to fight," or "I'm not going to do this." That has to come from the environment in which they was raised in. That has to come from the guys who coming home from incarceration thought they was tough guys, thought they was thugs, thought they was killers. All these names that we pick up, they don't belong to us. That's a media tag. The news label you. This is the worst. Look, the violence right now in the city of Philadelphia. They scared to death of the 12-year-olds to 25-year-olds that time because you don't know. They don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they'll do. Anytime you can form what's called a flash mob of teenagers getting out of high school on bicycles, and there's 300 of them over here, 300 of them over there, what are you going to do? These are teenagers that's organizing this. But the violence itself is, no matter how hard it is, these kids are not, they don't think they have nothing to live for. They don't think they have nothing to live for. It's a sad reality, but when you go into these communities and look, they don't really feel like they have nothing to live for. So the violence comes natural. It's an attitude. It's aggression. Even let's you look at the drug game today. The drug game today. You got to be a damn fool to sell it. Think you're gonna get rich off of selling cocaine today. You're not. You're not gonna get. So all you're doing right now, the people who are selling cocaine on the streets, they're just it's like survival money.
And then I guess when they finally get locked up, any money that they actually accumulated, they got to use it for the case.
Somebody don't get it. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna get that. But what I'm trying to say is, these if they don't think they have nothing to live for, then they have no conscience about what they're doing. And then you gotta take a guy that's take two 17-year-olds living in a violent environment, going to school. One of them might carry a gun, one don't. They know each other. So if they get in a conflict, the one who don't carry a gun already know, man, this guy got a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know because this is just your neighborhood. We know who, what, and what's going on in our neighborhoods. But it has to be the people who coming home from incarceration to go and address this.
But fortunately, I think I am starting to see that. I mean, I'm seeing that, where they are coming and trying to bring the young people together and actually try to, if you want to say, school them. So, and that's where, again, organizations like yours come in, actually getting out to the community.
But you also, it's just not the organization. Perception is reality. What they perceive is reality to them. When they speak of a chance, when you look around and who's the superintendent of the schools, William Height,
Mm-hmm.
I say I'm probably problem saying nobody's name. William Height, superintendent of the school, the governor, Tom Wolf. You see how many schools that has closed down in the city of Philadelphia and turned into condominiums and business places? All these places are institutions. A bank is a financial institution. A hospital is a medical institution. A jail is a penal institution. A school is an educational institution. All they doing is substituting one institution for another. They'll rather send you to jail and educate you than to educate you out here in society. Because if I educate a bunch of you out here in society, that's counterproductive to their scheme because mass incarceration is a multi-billion-dollar industry annually, and they don't give up their money so easily. They ain't gonna just say we're gonna just cut incarceration.
Oh yeah, like I know a lot of these corporations like Aramark and what was it, Keefe and all them
All of
who were owned. Keefe is owned by what, the Bush family or something?
Barbara Bush. When George Bush II was president, we had to order commissary with Keefe product. I researched Keefe is owned by Barbara Bush.
Yeah, that's how I did too. And when
And
I
I'm
found
like,
out, I'm
we
like,
going
huh?
but what kills me is this here. I'll take you to an audience of people and say, hey, everybody raise your hand if you're a taxpayer. Then I'll look at them and ask them, well, who do you employ? All city officials. They employ the police. We taxpayers actually employ the police. Now, the George Floyd trial is going on, where this officer held his knee in this black guy's neck for they say 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and some seconds. They was calculating the time and this and that. And that. They showed a picture of this guy while he had his knee in it, just looking at the people like, who's going to stop me? I dare someone to come over here and try to make me move my knee. That's blatant disregard for human life. That's blatant disregard for human life.
Here's my question: Do you think he's going to be convicted?
Uh, yeah, I think he's going to be convicted because fear.
Oh yeah, because
They know if they don't convict him, they fear what's going to happen to the country again. They riot and loot, and people are going to go pandemonium. You know, I don't necessarily agree with the format of what they're doing,
hmm
but I just told you, perception is reality to them. When they stormed the Capitol in Washington, D.C., that was reality. That perception was reality that white people can still do what they want.
No.
That's at the nation's capital.
hmm
That's the highest branch. You're in Washington, D.C. And I always make a point to state this, not to cut you off.
Okay.
I make a point to state this about Washington, D.C. and what it is. See, Washington, D.C., everybody thinks is one of the 50 states or 51 states of the United States. No, it's headquarters for corporate America of the United States. It's headquarters for corporate America of the United States. And it is our battleground. If you attack Washington, D.C., you have attacked the United States of America. Any form of attack on Washington, D.C. is an attack on your country because that's headquarters for your country. A basketball player retired. He's an NBA coach now. I won't say his name. Immediately after this thing at Capitol Hill, he said if those were black people, it would have been all across the lawn, blood of our people.
Which is true.
This is what a coach said.
hmm
NBA player retired, now he's a coach, said this. He said if it was blacks, our blood would have been all across the lawn. That's reality. Black young people see that, and then they know we don't have no justice in our court system. My reality is Seth Williams, the head district attorney, went to jail for corruption for selling out on court cases of minorities. That's the head cop here in Philadelphia. They gave him 5 years.
You know he's out, right?
Yeah, I know he's out, but what I'm saying, that's reality. There's a person here, he was on the side of justice, but in the courts, selling us out, case by case, selling us out. That's the reality that you have to deal with.
So the thing I noticed about him, because he's on my he's on, I follow his Twitter, and now all of a sudden he's for criminal justice
Criminal
reform.
justice reform.
After all you done did, now you're for criminal justice reform because he was in the system.
This is why I respect a guy like, may he rest in peace, Johnny Cochran. When he was going through the trial, OJ. But before that, he had represented Snoop in a murder trial. Remember that?
Yeah.
Murder was the case that they gave him. He came out with a song after that. That's when I came to know who Johnny Cochran was. I was like, oh, Snoop got a black lawyer because I'm hip hop. Snoop got a black lawyer? You know, he got a big mustache. Oh, this guy, oh, bush, yeah. But his poise, his representation, you can see the sincerity in him. And when they changed the gun laws, he came on TV and made a national statement to the news. He telling the black people, if you get caught with a gun in an act of violence, there's nothing I can do. No court, no lawyer can do nothing for you. The way the system is set up, you're going to jail for a long time. And that's the reality.
And the thing with Johnny Cochran too is he was skilled at turning the system around on them,
Exactly.
and that's why people
See,
hated him
you
so
got
much.
to understand, lawyers, they know the law. If I was to have to hire a lawyer, I want the lawyer straight out of college because he's not corrupted yet. See, the lawyer is a loophole in the law, is a loophole in the Constitution. 2017, I caught a gun charge. I was breaking up a fight between this group of guys and this group of guys in my neighborhood on 19th and Butler. School right there, Cleveland. I went to this elementary school. Oh, they getting ready to kill such and such. I'm out there. Whoa. Can't kill him right here. This is a neighborhood. Y'all 2 blocks from each other. Meanwhile, there's an undercover cop sitting there. He watching the whole thing. We never knew. You know, on Mark Carr, he's sitting there watching the whole thing. Now this time it's 20 guys. I got my hand in this guy. I'm pushing this guy. I'm arguing with this guy. These guys is heavily armed. So one of the guys said, yo, man, these is undercover sitting in these cars. They had pulled up in all these undercover cars just watching us. And then they just jumped out on us. Boom, 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 boom. Get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on. Locked us up. Boom, boom, found guns. People start throwing guns. I am exactly 25 years older than the oldest guy that was there at the time. I was the first guy they put the cuffs on. They didn't ask what was going on now. Just cuff him, put the cuffs on him. Oh, we got guns. Give one gun to him, one gun to him. Give him a gun, give him a gun. I beat the case on a constitutional error. You never seen a crime take place. What did you jump out and tell us to get on the ground for? You just stripped us of our liberty. You apprehended us. You put cuffs on us. You never seen a crime take place. This is how I beat the case in court. Never had probable cause. And that was established in the preliminary hearing. I still sat in jail 19 months fighting the case after the preliminary hearing to get back in court. I had a lawyer, sold me out, fired her. She tried to get me to take a deal to 4 to 8. There go my wife right there, stage 4 cancer. She was paying my lawyer bill.
Mm-hmm.
Fired her, ended up beating the case without her on a constitutional error. When I told them, I said, listen, I'm fighting on the Constitution. They said, oh, man, we know search and seizure, the 4th Amendment, they giving a pass on that frisk stuff. I ain't say what authority I was fighting it on. I said I'm fighting it on search and seizure. But since you want to know, I'm fighting it on the Pennsylvania Constitution, which is 75 years before y'all American Constitution, when Great Britain was coming over here taking y'all properties, taking your stores, and y'all put this in act to protect yourselves. Article 1, Section 8 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. They looking at me like, yeah, go look it up. When they came back, the judge didn't want to let me in his courtroom now. I'm sending the paperwork to his court. When you going to release me? They told me he was the worst judge down there. I'm dying to get in his courtroom. Please let me in. I'm going to court, begging, banging on the door. Sheriff, I'll go to Giovanni Campbell. I know ain't nobody in there. Look, all these guys sitting here waiting. 19 months. So they're going to get their time out you no matter what, because it's the price of them holding you is what counts to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's all business. And until we start looking at it, that's the game that they are playing. It's either you play or you're going to lose every time.
All right. Well, in closing, because we're about to get out of here, but if anybody would like to contact you and utilize your services, how would they get in contact with you?
Oh, Incarcerated Faces, we 22163. That's our P.O. Box, Philadelphia, PA 19136. You can get me on Instagram, Facebook, Basil Ali, the whole name. LinkedIn, if you got a business account on LinkedIn. I don't too much give up my phone number. But yeah, we're here for the service of the people.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. And yeah, yeah. Here, go ahead. Say something. Here, let me give you the mic. Go ahead.
Are you sure I'm on camera?
You're on camera.
Okay. I'm just joking. Well, of course, this is just for our viewers. Vanstone, Philadelphia Front Page News, and of course WVSR 1360, and it's a pleasure. Our first time. So, for all the viewers who have a chance to watch this later, what we're going to be doing here. This is a wonderful location and incarcerated basis services. It's an interesting name, especially being bold enough to say faces. So there's a purpose in everything, and that is really amazing to me. I had a brother who was an ex-offender as well. My brother's gone. So even if I'm not an ex-offender, a family member still understands and a part of that. We're still an extension of it, and we still suffer. We're
Of
all a
course.
part of everything that goes on. So it's either, in the family, you actually get to do your investigation and learning what your family member, your loved one is going through, and then you learn for yourself, or you learn it from the streets. So what we're appreciating here from Philly Funk Radio, Jerry Wilson, Van Stone, is that we're going to really work close with you, and I would like to really see how we, with our programs, bring out that missing piece, because that's the problem, in my opinion, and I have a lot of lifelong experience. My brother's been in and out of jail after the military. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so interesting, that most of us young, we make it, then we become adults, and then next we're doing time for whatever reason, Um, but what we do, and appreciate what you do with all the components of ex-offenders, is try to deal with the missing pieces and have more dialogue and then do something about it. That's what we're going to try to do. So we're going to come with you, with the Vanstone Productions Foundation, Philly Funk Radio, Incarcerated Faces Services, and any other groups that you work with. We just want to let the viewers know that this is going to be good, as far as to what we're doing. And we appreciate you.
I
So,
appreciate you having me on the show.
okay.
I'd like to give a hello to my chief of staff, Dr. Carol Simmons, and my lovely wife, Kimberly Hayes Ali, and our other chief of staff is Melissa. So we have a little, women's support group going on
Okay.
too. So,
All right.
and I appreciate y'all having me here, you two, brother, as well. And I look forward to doing business with you brothers in the future.
Yeah, this is the first of many.
I appreciate you.
So, and you got so wrapped up in the conversation, was good. So that's really good, because this is not usual for him. He just forgot all about me, you know. But that's good, So when you guys exchange and then talk anytime, that'll be great too. And we look forward to so many different things that we're going to have ongoing, which I'm excited about that. Also, just bring out one thing I think was very important: who you are with the community. With this area, there was a meeting I participated in this past Saturday. Just give us just a little bit about your part here representing the community. This is the Eastwood community,
Yes, this
you
is the
know.
Eastwood community. Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just
So,
just tell us that
yeah,
part
what we did. We
with the politics and everything, and that's pretty much going to be it for me. I think people should know, you
Okay.
know.
That's
Oh,
it's a brother named Wilson Alexander. He's from this area. He's ran for I think city council, maybe state rep, maybe a time or two. Well, what he did was he formed a coalition, and what we do, we're a bipartisan group, and we vet politicians on their agenda. And then we vote and decide whether we're going to support that candidate or we're not. To us, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. We want to know what your agenda is and how you're going to effectively help the community. Effectively help the community. So that's what that group is about. And that's under Mr. Wilson Alexander. And it's pretty interesting for people to know that, you have to get involved in politics on all levels in order to make a difference. Because once we understand as a people that when we become united at any point, that's when we become stronger. When we become united, we become stronger. It's easy to pick individuals off. So in this political scheme, you have to vet these people. Our schools shouldn't be closing. Our after-school programs shouldn't be shut down. Recreation centers should be provided with what they need. The schools should have modern tablets for technology. I hear them talking about books still. That's your option. If you want to read a book, that's good. Go to the library. It should be on your tablet. The curriculums are not even generated. You have to go to a special school to have curriculums generated to assist you with finances coming out of high school. Before I go, I always share this with people. Dell is an American-made product. The computer part, they sell the Pentium chip.
Mm-hmm.
They put their Dell laptop in China to see how it fared in the market in China. This was years ago. They liked it. China liked it, but they sent it back to them. They said, it's pretty good. It's fast and everything. It don't have Excel, so it's useless to us. We teach our kids spreadsheet in school. Just to have that dynamic. Now, I have a stepdaughter. She just left out her daughter. I asked her, I needed some work on PowerPoint. I said, no, I need some help me do something on PowerPoint. She said, what's that? Aren't you in the 12th grade? You don't have PowerPoint? You don't have Microsoft Office? You never had seen an Excel spreadsheet and you're getting ready to graduate high school? It threw me off, and she thought I was like chastising her, but I wasn't. I'm pissed off to hear you say that. Now and I turn to my son, who's in the 12th grade too. I'm looking at, you don't know PowerPoint and Excel, none of that? He looking at me, shaking his head. Now I'm embarrassed because I know it. I'm certified in Microsoft Office. I got to teach y'all PowerPoint and Excel and the spreadsheet and Access and Word. Yeah, so you never give up on teaching your kids. Don't be comfortable with what they're learning. They're not learning much at these institutions, in these educational institutions.
Yeah, real quick, what you were saying about the uh, about you vetting the politicians, right? Which is I think is great because a lot of these guys come out, and me and Van, we were talking about this this morning, well, yesterday, and a lot of politicians they just come out and they'll just say anything. Well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do this. You elect me and I'm gonna do that. My question to them, and they hate it when you say this: how are you going to do that? You can tell me whatever. What real plan do you actually have to accomplish what you're telling me you want to do? And that's the thing. The main question I think we need to start asking these politicians and actually holding them accountable for the things that they say when we elect them.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. But again, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate
And
it.
like you said, we'll do this again.
Oh, yeah, I
So
appreciate
we'll
it.
be back. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get out of here, and you have a wonderful day.